right, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, the winner of the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic is Bayern. And we're joined now by, on the left, owner Kaleem Shah. In the middle, trainer Bob Baffert. He's won 11 Breeders' Cup races. This is his first win in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And on the right, Martin Garcia, his third Breeders' Cup win, first Classic. So, Bob, we'd like to start with you and just get an initial reaction to the start of the race and tell us what happened at the gate.
Well, we knew the break was very important for this horse, and he broke so hard, the ground broke under him, and when he ducked in on the first jump, so I was like, you know, it's either a stumble or that. So then he grabbed him right away, straightened him out, and then he just took control of the race. From then on, it was just a matter of watching the fractions of the. My wife Jill was calling out the fractions, going, "Oh, he's going too fast," but you know, he looked like comfortable. The thing about Bayern, he once he gets his speed and his brilliance is his weapon, and down the back about the 5/8 pole, he sort of opened up on him a little bit, and I was thinking like, you know, we talked about it before. You need to let him do his thing, because that's him. If you try to slow him down, he's just not effective. So it was just, you know, I loved everything that was going on, and I thought, well, if he's good enough, but the 9 horse, Taste of New York, he was like, he would not go away. He was just glued onto him there, and I know he's a really he's a well-trained horse, and the distance is not going to be a problem for him. And I watched California Chrome. He was making a big move, and he looked good in the paddock, and I thought, you know, this is right here. I thought he's in front. I said, this has been so long waiting. Please, Lord, you can't take it away from me now. And I was just like almost holding my breath. I don't think I was breathing the last 20 yards of this race, and when he hit the line there, I was just like exploded. I mean, it was just so, for Jill and I and Bodie, it was so exciting that moment.
Martin, could you tell us about, as you were standing in the gate, and then also when the gates opened and the first few strides out of there?
Well, like what he said, the ground broke cow, and then my horse, it just broke really sharp, and I just nothing I can do. I mean, I corrected right away, and then but he was pretty clear.
The thing about Bayern, his athleticism is just, he's so handy on his feet, and we saw that when Gary rode him in New York in that 7th furlong race. You know, I told Gary, I don't know what to do with this horse, and Gary said, you know what, I'm just going to let him rip away from there. And I think he showed us that day at Belmont what he did in that 7/8 race, and just smoked them. And right there, we knew what we had, and from then on, you know, putting the blinkers back on him, getting him focused. But he was way behind these horses, and for some reason, you know, it's hard when you figure these horses out. But he's just been so golden. The Saratoga race, I was a little bit. I probably shouldn't have sent him up there. He had a huge performance, flying him back and going back. But you know, it's hard to pass it up. And but he came back, and his Philadelphia race, there was no fluke. I mean, he's that good. But you know, when you have a horse that's a front runner, you really can't do a lot of, you know, you can't brag on him. You can't be talking him up, because you don't want, you know, like look at what Game On Dude had to go through there at the end, you know. So, but this horse, he just, you know, he was brilliant, and he showed it today, and he just, you know, he did it on the major, you know, with the bet, and this field was just unbelievable. What a great field it was, and just like the sprint race was unbelievable. Secret Circle, he rode a great race. He just came up short, but that's what the Breeders' Cup is all about, to get everybody here, and there's no ducking or diving. We're all here together, and you know.
Bob, the incident at the start, you hate to see anybody not get a chance to run their race. Can you just talk about how it changed the complexion of the race for some of the others?
I didn't,
in a way, work in your favor.
You know, when he broke in like that, I said, oh, but then he got up right away, and he was gone. But right away they cleared, but the 9 came over and just crushed everybody. There was probably more going on. The 9 was doing more crushing back there than we did. Ours was the first initial start, because I thought they were looking at the 9 horse when he came over. That's what I thought they were looking at.
Kaleem, congratulations to you. This is a huge win. Can you just talk about what it means to you?
Tell you what, this past week I've been suffering with This past week has been very painful for me. I've been suffering with a nerve damage and a sciatica nerve issue. Believe me, as soon as it hit the wire, it automatically cured itself. So that should tell you a little bit about.
I told him he's going to be able, if he wins, he'll be able to walk normal. If he loses, we'll have to carry him out of here.
I literally could not walk, most of the week, and in fact, I didn't even come down to the paddock for the race because I literally could not walk. So, but I don't know what happened. As soon as he won, it just was a major transformation. So my whole family's out here, I'm ecstatic, and certainly me and Bob have accomplished a lot of firsts together.
How about Armand?
Armand, he is the one, along with Donato, who spotted the horse, So it's certainly elated that my family's out here. Like I said, me and Bob have achieved a lot of firsts together, winning the Pennsylvania Derby together, your first, San Diego Handicap first together, and now the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I certainly hope, there's lots of good stuff in store for us.
Now we have to win a Derby.
Hey, we'll take it step by step.
And so for both of you, this is his third seven-figure win of the year. Where does Bayern fit in the Horse of the Year conversation?
To me, it is, certainly he's gone cross-country, and won, beating the best, and certainly at the world stage, he's overcome everything and won today. In my mind, certainly, he deserves, the Horse of the Year and 3-year-old champion. So I'll let Bob chime in.
I don't understand a word he said, but we're very proud of this horse, and we don't vote, but we're proud of our horse, and he came through on the big day, and that's what matters. That's why they call it the championship racing.
Sure, we'll have a lot of questions in the room. Who's got one?
The only part I understood, Bob, was you said champion.
Bob, are you going to be you're going to be happy now that we're going to stop asking you about winning the Classic?
Well, I mean, there's always, we all have something that they have to ask me, what haven't you done yet, but I guess the next question, when are you going to be on Dancing with the Stars or something like that? I don't know.
Considering, like you mentioned, this has been so long in the making, does this trump the Derby wins, or the Derby wins still at the top of your list?
It's a different vibe, totally. The Derby is pretty special, very emotional. It's really a different kind of vibe, but it's very exciting, and it's more like, this is the end of the year. This is when the championship, everything's on the line. This is when they hand out the championships in the fall, and it's like a World Series. So, hey, we were here. We ran a lot. We ran through the whole year, and a couple times there he didn't do well. A lot of it's my fault, in the spots that I picked for him. But we were trying to get him to the Derby, and we're trying to get him there, and we were just running behind a little bit. But he just finished up. He showed today that he's just a tremendous horse, and his races were just all, when he's on, he was just on.
Ron.
Bob, the way the track was going early today, speed bias, then the closers start coming through, did you have any thoughts about how the track was going to fit Bayern as the race was beginning?
Well, if he would have run yesterday, it would have been so much better for us. But with the wet weather earlier in the day with speed, and I remember in the juvenile, I think everybody just took off because it was it looked like it was going to be a little speed bias, and I wish I would have just taken a hold of my horse, My Lucky Dane. We were caught up in it, and Bejarano told me by the time he got to the backside, he thought, oh, this is different, but it wasn't. It was tiring. It was drying out. It was deep. So what he did today was even really more impressive because he was, he really had to dig. He cut out the fractions, and when he opened up at the 5/8 pole, it was like, he really was running, but. They were, this is the Breeders' Cup. You just got to flaunt your speed. And I told Martin, you know what? Make him chase you. That's his weapon. And he just showed up.
And on back to the start, Mike Smith was quoted as saying, I believe it cost me the whole race. What's your response to that?
I think the 9 horse probably came over and did more damage, 100 yards out of the gate. But... It's racing. It's racing luck. We got completely eliminated in the Preakness, and so if that happened at the start, you can't control the start. It's nothing. that was done. You know, you don't like to, you know, you see it when he broke in like that. I was like, oh, you know, but it's something that I think he got in a lot of trouble. The 9-horse, the 9-horse, after watching the replay, he bottled everybody up down there, you know. So,
Bob, just talk about the future for Bayern.
We're just going to freshen them up for Los Alamitos, right?
Kaleem, you have any
that was for my man Brad McKenzie.
Just celebrate tonight and go from there.
Yes. Other questions? Oh, Debbie.
Hi there. Congratulations. It's been a long time coming. What do you think this horse is going to be back as a 4-year-old?
Definitely. He'll race as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and 6-year-old if he can.
Oh, very good.
Kaleem wants to run. He's here to run.
I'm a horse racing fan first, and I know the fans hate it when good horses get retired. So I'm going to make sure as long as he's sound and Bob tells me he wants to run, he'll keep running.
My job is just to keep his horses off the farm
That's right.
at the spa.
Very good. And also, did you know Bayern had a race like this in him when you retired, Game On did?
Well, I mean, we knew. I think that race when he won at Belmont, that's when the light came on, and then he at the Haskell, he just, you know, that was a strong little field, but what he did there, and then what he did at Philadelphia, and he kept shipping. You know, it was just like he was shipping to these places. It wasn't like we were at home. You know, it's a different feel. When I went in the paddock today, and when you see the horses in the paddock in the Classic, it's a whole different look. There's some really good horses in there, and you know, he's a dirt running horse, and he just smoked him today.
Martin, could you tell us more about the end of the race, maybe the last eighth of a mile, and just trying to hold off Toast of New York?
Well, I tried to open up, but the horse that I just was follow me, and then I know when I was moving, like kind of like outside a little bit, he just started to respond, and he won't ever go by him. He just kind of like I look at him, and then he just say, no, you never will be by me. So he just was ready to win today.
Tom?
This is for trainer Baffert. As the week began, your main hope in the Breeders' Cup races was American Pharoah, and philosophically, when one door closed, another opened in the form of Bayern. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Given the fact it was a classic and a $5 million race, you normally expect the pace to be hard. And once Bayern established command, were you surprised at the way he was able to control the pace?
Well, he's so fast. Only a really good horse can do something. What he did today, keep that pace and keep running. I mean, I thought for sure somebody was going to be coming running, but when he runs like he does, he is so fast. I mean, he just his athleticism. He's fast. I mean, if he was a football player, he'd be in the SEC. I mean, he is fast.
Hey, Bob, is it somewhat of a relief to not have to come up with a game plan for this horse? You just open the gates and hit the gas pedal?
Well, if you look at his chart, there wasn't really much of a game plan, you know. It was just, hey, we're just going to go here, go there. We like to race, you know. And the thing is about it, everybody complains, well, they don't run their horses enough, and then when we do run them and they get beat, it's like, oh, he's terrible, you know. And so it's like when we took him to Travers, he got beat. He took care of him. He just wasn't. He didn't bring it that day, and he got beat 30 lengths, but he took care of him when he knew he had no chance to win, so or hit the board. So he came back, and we knew, you know, he came back, he trained well, won the Philadelphia Park, coming into here, was working well. Everybody just sort of forgot about him. They just remember that one race that sticks in their mind, and but it's the element of surprise. We were ready for him. You know, we didn't. When you have a speed horse, like I said, there's no wolfing involved in a speed horse. You just can't say we just quiet and got it done.
Bob, Martinez always delivered when he does get the chance to assume one of your top horses. Can you just talk about the job he's done for you?
Well, I mean, we've established a good relationship. He knows what I expect from these horses, and he knows them really well. And he handled it really well today. I noticed when he came out in the paddock for You know, I can tell just in the last few years how he's matured. And you need the more you ride, the better horses. You learn from the better horses. Me as a trainer, I learn from training the better horses, the mistakes. I still make mistakes. And, it's one of these things where, I trust him. If I didn't trust him, he wouldn't be riding these horses. And so he knows his horse when he's great on these fast horses. And so that's why Game On Dude, I'm glad with all the work he's done with my barn, he got to win the Pacific Classic with him. And for him to win on this big stage, he won a Preakness for me. He's won some big races for me. And if we got beat, we blamed him for it. So, I mean, he does well.
Bob, can you address the depth of the 3-year-olds this year with all these horses in the top 5?
Yeah, the 3-year-olds were just standouts this year, and they were really, I mean, shared belief. He's a really good horse. The California Chrome, he what he did this year, and to have them all, it's very rare when you have them all line up in the gate for something like this. I mean, this was it. Something's got to shake out, and that's what happens when things shake out. Some of us are not happy, and other ones are sad, and we were on the happy end of the shakeout.
Susan?
Any chance of Dubai World Cup on dirt?
Dubai World Cup?
Yep.
You'd have to ask my wife Jill about that one. What do you think, Bodie? You never know. You got to keep it open.
Bob may not come, but the horse might make it. We'll see.
Thank you, Patron.
I'll take my cardiologist with me. Are you ready? He's ready. He wants to go. He wants to.
One more.
Thank you.
Wait. One more for Martin. Martin, what does this win mean to you?
It means I won't be yelling at him tomorrow.
That means a lot for me, especially for my career. And I hope a lot of trainers and owners that I can ride more for them. Yes, but I think every single win, that's a big win.
Other questions? Bob, we do want to know what time you'll be at the barn tomorrow if people want to check in.
Well, I'll be working horses in the morning. Tomorrow,
I have a day off.
No, you're going to be there. We got a big day tomorrow. We're back to working tomorrow, so if he's not there,
Fire.
He better be there.
Hey, we've got another German soccer club running tomorrow.
We got it. Nothing changes here. We're going to go back to work and do the same thing we do. We're going to enjoy this tonight and hope that the University of Arizona beats UCLA tonight. That's all. And Bodie's going to the game. Are you still going to the game, Bodie? Okay, Bodie's going to the game.
All right, bear down. Congratulations, you all.
Thank you.
You're winners of the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Bayern.